I never thought that I would have another chance to talk about Hanasia, Queen of the Saiyans again, and yet here we are.
Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell to help us achieve the 300k mortal plan. Every soul counts. Halloween is over, guys, and I hope that all of you guys had a fantastic night last night, whether you decided to go out and do something or just sit home and watch scary movies or whatever you decided to do. I hope you guys really had fun. I had a blast, one of the most memorable Halloween experiences that I ever had. You guys can see right here, me and Rose, we came out stunned, we came out glossy because Halloween is my favorite holiday. We had a bonfire and were even able to tell scary stories. But now it is gone and it is November 1st, so you know what that means. I'm just playing. You guys are gonna hear that song to death in the next 2 months, so I am not gonna play it here. But today I have a brand new Dragon Ball fan manga, and this is something that I didn't think I would have to jump back into again, not after years ago basically running through the entire Saiyan story on Dragon Ball Multiverse. This is a full rundown with added content to the Dragon Ball Multiverse Saiyan storyline throughout every single multiverse, every single universe that is in Multiverse. Yes, all those timelines, exactly what happened to the Saiyans and the Tuffles on planet Vegeta.
Goku, you told me earlier that you too are a Saiyan, am I correct? Huh?
Yeah, but I don't know anything about the Saiyans.
So from the dawn of time, the Saiyans and the Tuffles have survived on the exact same planet for millions of years, never really finding a way to destroy each other, knock each other out of the fight. And so they basically were just having this blood feud for a very, very long time. Now this is the part of the story that most of you remember. Over the last millennia, the Tuffles have lived far from the Saiyans, living in their own technologically advanced cities, and the Saiyans lived in their own suburbs. They were having no contact, and this led to a profound peace. But this peace would not last, and remember, this is Dragon Ball Multiverse, so the Saiyan history is a little bit different, and what ends up happening to both the Tuffles and the Saiyans is that the Frost Demons attack the planet in order to get slaves and to conquer it. That way they can use the Saiyans as their own bodyguards, and that is exactly what ends up happening. But during this conquest, during this war, the Super Saiyan, the legendary Super Saiyan, ends up showing herself, and that is Hanasia, the first Saiyan Queen. Subsequently defeating the evil Saiyans, which in the story looked a lot like Broly, and destroying the Frost Demon, making sure that their planet stayed liberated. Now, if you don't remember who Queen Hanasia is, she is the ancestral first ever Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Multiverse. She is the one that defeated the Frost Demons, as said right now, but she also attacked the evil Saiyans, the ones that were wreaking havoc across the entire planet, taking down one of the biggest ones that essentially was a berserker. She did that all on her own, becoming the queen of all Saiyans, until she ultimately was overwhelmed in combat and could not recover from the loss. Now, Queen Hanasia is one of my favorite Dragon Ball Multiverse characters and one of my favorite Dragon Ball fan manga characters that's original, because we have quite a lot now because there's so many Dragon Ball fan mangas. But the cool thing about Hanasia is that not only was she the first ever Super Saiyan, you know, move over Yamoshi, but she also was a liberator. She had ideals, and she wanted to push the Saiyan race forward, defeating the Frost Demons, and doing all of this during the Stone Age of the Saiyans. These Saiyans are not technologically advanced, they're more like cavemen, so she was on the back foot, and yet she defeated all her foes while looking like a total snack. And so after the planet was liberated, the Saiyans and the Tuffles ended up living side by side for 1,000 years. But unfortunately, the differences between these two Saiyan peoples was too great, because the Tuffles were technologically more advanced than the Saiyans, leaving the Tuffles to be rich and the Saiyans to be poor. And that is when a Saiyan who was particularly bent on revolution decided to rise up and defeat the Tuffles with a Saiyan army, and that is King Vegeta. Now that does end up happening in a lot of the timelines, but there is a few timelines, a few universes, 1 and 10, where he does not succeed because the Kai stops him dead in the tracks. So there are different branching off timelines where these plans and these situations don't actually come together, don't get fulfilled, or go into a completely different situation. But if we follow the destruction of the Tuffles,
They were much larger in size than the Tuffles, but much smaller in number. One thing all Saiyans had in common was that they all had tails. Another was their brutal and violent nature. They loved to fight. But because they were so few in number, the Tuffles never worried about the Saiyans.
the Saiyans actually waited for the full moon and used their power of Ozaru to destroy the entire Tuffle race, leaving just one survivor, who is Dr. Raichi, which is a character that we know from the movies. It is a huge storyline for one of the movies, and also Dragon Ball Multiverse's actual tournament, where we do have Dr. Raichi being able to bring back the dead and use them to fight off his combatants. Now this is the timeline we're more familiar with, because after the Saiyans destroy the Tuffles, they catch the eye of the Frost Demons, the ones that Hanasia defeated before they were able to conquer the planet. And Frieza decides, instead of conquering the planet, he will just use them and employ them to be his thugs across the galaxy, using his power, fear, and business tactics to basically conquer the Saiyans, something that his ancestors failed to do all those years ago. But as Dragon Ball Minus has showed us, Frieza gets cold feet about working with the Saiyans and decides to destroy them. Now, this is where we go into two branching timelines. One of them has the Saiyans rising up against Frieza and using their power to destroy him, their collective power to destroy him, and that is Bardock, another Queen Hanasia, which isn't the same person, but it is a future descendant. They all attack Frieza and win, and spare themselves from total eradication. In another timeline, it follows the same way that we've seen in Dragon Ball Z, where Frieza actually destroys planet Vegeta, branching off into two timelines where in one there are 4 survivors, and on the other there are only 3, both leading to Dr. Raichi, who is prepared for revenge against the Saiyans. But because the Saiyans are already destroyed, it branches off again into 2 separate timelines, where one, he basically disappears and doesn't find any Saiyans to make revenge on, and the other one where it's basically the movie plans to eradicate the Saiyans and he ends up fighting the Z Fighters. I hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown of Saiyan history in Dragon Ball Multiverse. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comment section below. You guys are the motherfucking squad. Sage Vegan. Vegeta is being tricked, guys. He's in a Genjutsu. Yeah, the Genjutsu of always losing every single time that he ends up fighting a villain. That's the Genjutsu he's in. Thank you so much for your comment, Sage. This is going to be BlackScape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.